Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you're able to stick to your budget, manage to pay off your debt, and begin to save on your path to building wealth. Today, guys, I want to talk to you about what do you do after you paid off your debt. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So paying off your debt is such a incredible financial opportunity and stepping stone because it really starts to open up your wallet and open up all the opportunity you have with your income. But the fact is, many people get to this step and this is where things start to really become hard. Yeah, you had to manage your money so tightly when you were paying off debt. And then the fact is, the focus that it takes to pay off debt is really already done for you. Because after you pay off one debt, you move on to the next. And as I've sat and walked through many people getting out of debt, I've also watched a lot of the debt-free screams, and I've always become interested with the Dave Ramsey process and what do people do after they pay off their debt. And the fact is, that's where things really start to be more troublesome. Because it's easy to tell somebody, hey, you got to manage your money well, and you just got to build wealth, and it'll just work itself out. And it doesn't. The fact is, it really, truly doesn't. With your money, you have to take it step by step. And when you get out of debt, you have to use some of the same mechanisms that you had in debt to really make your money more prosperous. But you're going at it at a different approach. So in this video, I want to walk you through some of the things that you should be doing just to help you still have that financial fire and progress. But now you're adding in a little bit more lifestyle, a little bit more in quality of life. And that can be difficult because you have to find a true mathematical balance to this whole equation. So the first thing I want you to do is, just like you wrote out all your debts and whether you list them smallest to largest or by highest interest rate, however you approach paying off your debt, I want you to now replace the debt piece with what are the things that you want to accomplish financially in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. What are things that you want to accomplish? So do you have a home? That's a pretty big one. Or are you trying to buy a home? Car. Are you trying to buy a car? Those are the two biggest things. If that's in your equation, that should be right top of number one. If you're looking at something that's a little less financial, has less of a financial impact, something like you want to travel more often, or maybe you want to give a little bit more and support different causes, or just buy yourself something nice. And that buying yourself something nice could be $2,000 or $3,000, but like I said, that's a nice chunk of change, but it's not the same as paying $20,000 or $30,000 for a car or buying a $200,000 or $300,000 house. So that's what I mean about it doesn't have as much weight, because you have this all margin you have all this cash in your budget now because of paying off debt. It makes it a lot easier for you to get and a lot faster for you to get these items. But the fact is, list out those things. The next thing I want you to look at is you go back to your budget. Are you going to use the sinking fund approach? A lot of people like this, so especially good in traveling. Have a separate account that you deposit money into every check, and that is for your trips. That everything trip vacation. So when you're going to buy these trips, or when you're actually traveling, you already have that money set aside. Are you saving for a car? That again could be a sinking fund or just a different savings account, but you have money going out for that car. So how do you start to be like, hey, I want to hit these goals, but then I also want to enjoy my life? So you start to give yourself a little bit more money based off how fast or how healthily do you want to reach that goal. So if you're trying to buy a car in the next 2 years, you first have to know about how much you plan to spend on a car that you're comfortable with and with taxes, insurance, all those type of things. Second, then you start to look like, okay, if I know how much it costs and I'm looking at a 2-year time frame, divide that total number by 24 months. And that'll tell you how much money you have to put in your account for the car every month. Then you subtract that amount that you're putting in, you put that in your budget, and then what do you have left? Well, if that leaves you with maybe $100 and you want to have a little bit more to spend on recreation, going out to eat, hanging with friends, buying gifts, buying little nice trinkets for yourself or for a loved one, that's when you have to look at, okay, do I want to either stretch the car out piece? Can my car last a little bit longer? Or am I going to make more income? So if I'm making more income, now I'm making more income for myself. You were doing that in debt, but now you're actually seeing the money. So what are you actually going to do with it? And then the last thing, when you think about your list of goals, you want to look at, okay, am I saving and investing? Because the biggest piece about this whole getting out of debt piece is you couldn't save and invest because you were paying off your debt, or you had too much debt where you couldn't put money away. So you want to establish that you're paying or saving in some form of fashion, past your emergency fund. You got that in place. So now you're saving for retirement, investing in the stock market. Then you want to look at your house if you're buying one. If you're not buying a house, then you want to look at how realistically, how long will your car last? And if that's intact, then you want to say, okay, I can enjoy a little bit more of this money, but keep in mind, how old are you? If you're 36, 37, are you behind on investing? Do you need to invest a little bit more to just get you on track? These are things you have to think about. But the process that you used when you paid off debt was this. You looked at your debt, you list them out, you wrote a budget, you wrote your plan, step by step. Okay, I got this much money I can throw at the debt. And so you started throwing it at that particular debt. And after you paid off debt A, you went on to debt B, whatever order you had. And the reason why that's so simple is because the debt's already there and things are pretty much lined up once you list them out. Now you have a little bit more ambiguity. You have a little bit more gray area because you got rid of debt. Now you have life that you're trying to manage financially after. So do you have kids? Are you planning on having kids? Does that cost? Are you trying to put away for their college or just trying to save and invest for yourself? Are you trying to get into rental properties? Are you trying to invest in a business? There are so many different things that your money gets tied and pulled so different ways that you now have to make a solid, clear decision that, hey, I need to do this for myself, for my household. And you have to be clear on that. So first you have to be clear on what's going to be the next goal of importance that I need to hit. The second thing is, how much money am I going to allow myself for that? It doesn't have to be a lot. The third thing is, how am I going to now be enjoying my life? How am I going to build my life so that I can enjoy my money while I'm saving and hitting these financial goals and still moving the ball forward? And every month you have to run through this cycle, because every month something may happen. You may have a car repair. Child may need something, clothes or something for school or things of that nature. You may have to dip out of town, unfortunately. There are things that will come up that you have to be able to make decisions, good, wise decisions financially, so that you can make it through to still hit your goal, but not get too set back. And then there are decisions that you will come up that you will simply, the answer is, hey, I'm not going to participate. There's some things that will happen. And that's why I said throughout this whole process, yeah, I want you to manage your money. Yeah, I want you to get out of debt, but I also want you to grow your income. And the key to growing your income is it makes the savings piece a lot easier. It makes the financial decisions then it starts to not be a financial reason why you're not doing it. It starts to be, do I even have the time to do it? And it makes those things a lot easier. But it also gives you a sense of dignity. It gives you a sense of respect. When you are paid properly, when you're consistently, when you're making a good income, you get a different type of confidence. And it makes your presence and it makes the decisions you have to make a lot easier because you have more money to do with and you're not feeling so constricted. And that's the prosperous part about the after fact, because it is challenging. Because what decision should I make? Well, the decision you should make is always going to boil down to what goal are you trying to hit first. So when you're looking at decisions now, the debt piece, you always looked at, all right, I got to get this right now. And that's how you might have fallen into debt. Not saying that's how it always works, but it might have a good reason. Well, now when you're making decisions, you also have to think about, okay, this is what's in front of me. I'm trying to save, I'm trying to invest, I'm trying to buy a house, or I'm trying to move or what have you. But what other decisions am I actually going to have to make in the next couple of years? And do those decisions that I will have to make or things I'm trying to do, how does that impact what I'm doing right now? Begin with the end in mind. That is a clear point that you have to start thinking about now that you are out of debt and you're now kind of have this margin, but you want to be focused with the margin. You want to know what you're doing. And that is the essence of your plan. You have to put goals and put priorities in place. You have to be clear on what you're trying to hit, what are things you're not going to do. And then you have to constantly look at your budget at least once a month. Because again, as you go through the year, things change. Things may open up to where you just have a little bit more money, or things might change to where you don't have as much money to save, or you don't have as much money to travel, or what have you. All these things come into play. And I want to encourage you that you've done a fantastic job if you've gotten out of debt and gotten this far. But when you think about the actual building wealth part, the real skill that really takes to build wealth is the management and the focus that you have on your finances. If you're lax, getting out of debt won't be as impactful for your life as it could have been because you don't have a focus going forward. And the decisions you have to make do get tougher. So again, like I tell a lot of my friends, the challenge before was you had debt and wasn't able to do a lot of things. Now you have different challenges. Now you have to manage the money. Now you have to be a little bit on guard. And if that's something you don't want to deal with, you can get a financial coach, you can get a financial advisor, you can get accountants, you can get all these different people to help you manage the decision, and then they just pretty much run your life financially. But there's something to the fact that it doesn't have to be hard, because those folks are going to be speaking on what is a good financial decision, but that may not all the time be relative to what you need to do. I want to encourage you, stay focused, write your plan, have a goal, and manage at least every month. Check in. And if you do that, you will start to see that you got out of debt, and the prosperity behind you getting out of debt will happen, because 6 to 8 months down the road, you will be accomplishing new goals, and those goals will change. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.